The flag came down on the 15th of September. I was taking up photography and I had a Super 8 film camera, and Morag filmed me receiving the Australian flag. And then the following day, I was there to film the Papua New Guinea flag going up. And to my knowledge, there are only 2 videos of the flag coming down and going up. And one was Prince Charles in Port Moresby, and the other was me. And we were both born in the same year. There were teachers, there were agricultural advisors, there were a lot of doctors and nurses went up there, all to build the country to a self-sustaining nation. Well, my name's John Hocknull. I'm a former patrol officer in Papua New Guinea, or what is known as a Kiap. That was between a place called Tip Tip and a village called Bamboo. And as we came out over the top, the clouds were over the top of the village and we were on top of the clouds.
Oh, I remember the bridges. You need to get some of those photographs, actually showing them, building them, because it's all manpower.
I was recruited in Melbourne in 1971 and went up to Papua New Guinea, and basically that was the beginning of a great adventure for the next 7-8 years. But these are the guys of the higher echelon of knowledge.
There you go. There you are in your prime time.
It's a big country. It's the second largest island in the world, and there were no roads. We had to travel by canoe or whatever. And when you got to a village, the first thing you did, you got the village book and had a look through it. And you would do a roll call. You do a census. Every time somebody went there, they would do a census. We would have the ballot papers made up, and we'd get the village book and make sure that we ticked off everybody in the village that was eligible to vote, because we had the dates of birth there, so we could actually say, you've reached 18, you're now eligible to vote. You know, sometimes you have 21 candidates for an election, and the voting went right the way down, so we had to mark every single box. And we knew before we went that we were doing ourselves out of a job, because we knew that part of our role was to actually bring the country to independence. So it was a nation-building role, but that was our job. We assisted in building bridges, opening up the country for a community or 2 or 3 villages out in the mountains somewhere would say, look, we need communications, we need to be able to take our sick people to the main centres without having to carry them for 4 or 5 days to the coast to be able to then get transport to a hospital. You know, we need an airstrip. So we would organise for somebody to go out and do a survey of an area to find out where they could build an airstrip. It might mean moving a mountain, but they said, well, it doesn't make any difference, we'll do that. So we then provided them with half a dozen wheelbarrows and 35 shovels, and away they went. So we would supervise the construction of the airstrip and make sure that it was drained properly and plant kikuyu grass over the thing to hold everything together. They dug the mountain out and built an airstrip.
When we do our, the talks, we have to do some more about the transport on the flights. And
we're in a King Air.
King Air. And
seven-seat King Air.
I actually recorded the noise of the engine because it made me remember what it was like flying in and out of those. It was just like that.
We were actually in Como Patrol Post on Independence Day. Physically on the day, the only expatriates in that area was myself, my wife, our new baby, and my wife's mother. And that was it, four expatriates, and there were 75,000 hoolies in the Como area. So the flag came down on the 15th of September, I was taking up photography, and I had a Super 8 film camera, and Morag filmed me receiving the Australian flag, and then the following day I was there to film the Papua New Guinea flag going up. And to my knowledge, there are only 2 videos of the flag coming down and going up, and one was Prince Charles in Port Moresby and the other was me. And we were both born in the same year. For me, personally, and I think I can speak for my wife as well, that other than the birth of our 2 children, Papua New Guinea independence was the proudest moment of our lives. And we felt truly honoured to be there. There's not many people can say that they were there at the birth of a nation.